all the guys that I've had the pleasure of spending time with on this movie are just amazing guys. They're lovely people, but they're hilarious at the same time. Yeah, I guess on set, I don't know, we would film so many nights at 3 or 4 in the morning when, you know, everything becomes funny, even if it's not. And so it's the constant making fun of each other, or Kevin throwing food at us, or, you know, like, I don't know, what other moments? We kind of just would run around trying to make each other laugh in the most serious of moments, which became quite funny, I guess, in the middle of the night. And our motivation for coming to Mexico, why not come to Mexico? You know, I've been here before. I came here with my best friend when I was 19 and had the most amazing time. And there's a lot of fans from Mexico, actually. You know, I'm not very active on social media, Twitter and Facebook and all that, but the amount of people that have sent out messages or from around the world, but a lot come from Mexico, and it's amazing to come, like it is to any country, to meet the fans one-on-one. That's what was so amazing, I think, about the North America Mall Tour, is because we've had the most one-on-one interaction with fans. And with all the countries that we've been to recently, just meeting the people that buy the tickets and that are so excited about the story and the characters is the best part about this. And to be able to come to Mexico and do the same thing here with the fans is asking how to get involved. And it actually turned out that they approached me about the role, so it kind of organically happened. So I didn't have to audition, which is a weird thing. It's very lovely, very lovely, but very strange. Well, I'm very happy with Clary. I didn't read the books thinking that I would ever even play Clary, so I never envisioned myself playing a character when I read books. So I guess after finding out they were making it into a movie, I couldn't really see myself as anyone but Clary, and if I wasn't cast as Clary, then that was totally fine. I don't know, I associate a lot of characteristics with Clary and myself, and there were a lot of things that I felt I could learn from her. But I've always said that if they were to allow me to play a guy, I'd like to play Magnus. But Godfrey obviously plays it way better than I would.
I actually got introduced to the Moorish by a casting call. So I was filming in China back then, and I was introduced to Magnus Bay, and I was very interested in this character in the whole series. So I went to purchase books myself in Asia, and it was really hard to find, by the way. And I just read the books, and I became a fan of it. And here I am doing a press interview in Mexico, so it's a really good opportunity for me, and I just love the whole series, and the movie's awesome.
I was also filming something else in Canada, and I read the script about a year prior. The film took a while to make, a few years, I think, from now, yeah, for Lily. So I met with Harold, and we read a scene. I flew in, and it happened very quickly. I hadn't read the books. I literally just had time to read the script on the plane. But before we started shooting, I read the first book, and have subsequently, we're shooting the second film in 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
So I've now read the second book, and we should be getting the script today or tomorrow, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. So that was my introduction to this world. But I had no idea how popular the books were. I just sort of read it as a script, and I wanted to work with both of these two. Who were the sort of two that were cast when I was cast.
Upon getting that phone call, I read the first 3 books, immersed myself in the world. Again, left Los Angeles, just was like, you know, that was amazing. I had a great time. Whatever happens, happens. Didn't really expect anything, and then a week later I get a phone call saying that I've got it, and I thought it was a bad joke. But it turns out it wasn't a bad joke, and here I am. It was a great joke. Yeah, and that was 2.5 years ago.
Obviously, the script has to be good, but I sort of read it for the character that they like me for. And I usually find with movies of this magnitude, big movies, that there isn't a lot to do as an actor. You sort of just show up, and you know, they want you to look a certain way. And for this character, for all of us, really, there was a lot to do. You know, this is very much a big movie with characters that are pretty well developed. So, you know, the character that I play is very complicated, and you know, you end up finding out he's a gay character, which I think for a movie like also of this size was something that intrigued me, and was something that I hadn't seen done before. And frankly, I thought it was a good script, and I was available, and I think sometimes people overthink things. You know, I like the script, I like the character, and they wanted me to do it. So there was really those three variables that enticed me to say yes.
Very different. This is for me the first time I'm playing the leading man in a movie. You know, that's a big deal. So we're all in this experience together. We all have, you know, a shared bond in that. So there was nobody sitting there on their high horse, I suppose.
I did a movie about 7 years ago called Transamerica, which my wife has seen, and there was a lot of that sort of thing, much more explicit than what goes on in this film. No, I mean my wife is my wife knows what I do for a living, and she knows what why I work. And when it came to this thing, I mean, for me with this film, with the whole gay storyline, and once you see the film, he's sort of the least sort of prototypically flamboyant gay character that certainly I felt like there was an opportunity to have a character who happens to be gay but not have any of the characteristics that people associate with that. I think if you were to sort of watch the film, there's really not that, if any, moments that you sort of see him walk in and would make the assumption that he was gay, and that was kind of my idea going into it. Speaking to Harold, I just didn't, I think it's disrespectful to the gay community. I don't think it's necessary. But yeah, I mean, certainly we have some stuff to do, but again, I don't think that it should be, you know, the same way that people aren't saying like, oh, well, isn't it crazy, Jamie, that you have this sort of love scene with Lily, and like that you kiss, and it's just, to me, it's not, maybe it's because of where I live or my experience with people who are homosexual, that it's not really something that I find to be that titillating or that, it doesn't, I don't think my wife cares, I certainly don't care.
I was fortunate enough to be out in Toronto a month before we started shooting, to be with the stunt guys that choreographed all the fights, and I learned all my fights before we started shooting. We all did this, like all of us were in there together. You know, that's some of my best memories from working is, you know, the fight scenes where we're all just there, it's like 4 a.m. and we were all just done, like tired and wrecked, and just like bruised and battered and sweaty and hungry and grumpy and crying and...
But we had a great time.
Yeah, but it's like, and then you get into bed and then you'd be like, I got beat today. I got beat, but I got beat with my best friends, and I got beat with like the coolest people, and that's after fun, you know. Why do this? Why do this job unless you're going to have fun with, you know, the people that are around you?
It was taking my pants off in front of the director the first day I got on set. And I had no fight scenes, you know. Mine was all talking and showing me my party, showing up at an apartment. But it was fun, you know, just the first day I got on set, I saw Jamie and Lily greeted me with warmth, and I felt the love right there on the spot. I felt like, you know, there was a good family here, and I just felt welcome. And the most exciting stuff for me was, you know, I get to perform in my underwear, I guess. That's the only exciting part for my part in the first film. But I have heard from them, all three, and all the actors, that they've been, you know, through hell. After filming, they gotta go train, and after training, they gotta go back on set. So I just felt like, you know, they were.
Me growing up, I started playing piano when I was 4, and then the violin when I was 5, and then several brass instruments and guitars, drums, and whatever. You know, so acting for me is something that I find a little bit more challenging, straight up acting, and I still don't feel comfortable doing it, actually, in all honesty. I still don't feel comfortable on set, I still don't feel comfortable reading script and imagining me having to play it. It's something that I have to go through on a daily basis, but you know, art and music is easier. So what challenges me more right now is the straight up acting, and I love that. I love being challenged. It's what, you know, it's what pushes you to make yourself better.